It's the weekly show about pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Okay. I don't see myself, but I'm just gonna believe. Oh, here I am. Okay. I was like, I'm just gonna have to believe that I'm live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to rAVe TV. I thought Gary was gonna be here, but I was misinformed. So maybe we're just never together again. It's been like 3 weeks. Maybe rAVe TV's just not ever gonna be the same again. I'm just kidding. It will. So yeah, welcome back. I guess welcome back to me because I haven't been here for a while. Hope you guys have enjoyed some of the guest hosts that we have lined up for you. But now I'm back. I was really excited that Gary was going to be here too because I wanted to ask him if he'd seen the Odyssey. So if any of you watching on LinkedIn or wherever have seen the Odyssey, like give me a comment. I'm interested to see who has seen it, who likes it. Have the costumes bothered anyone? Because they're not like super historically accurate, like not to be that guy, but I'm a costumes person. I like those to be pretty accurate. And also, how have y'all seen it? Have y'all seen it as Christopher Nolan has intended? Have you seen it in the 1.43 to 1 aspect ratio, 70 millimeter? Because here's the thing, here's my problem. I can't do that in North Carolina. All of our screens here, IMAX included, are 1.90 to 1. And here's my problem again. There is a theater in Raleigh that is IMAX. It has the screen capable of doing 1.43 to 1, but guess what? It doesn't have a compatible projector. So no matter what, I'm going to be seeing it not in the right aspect ratio. So I'm kind of screwed unless I would like to drive 5 hours to Georgia. And here's my thing. I'm crazy. I will do that, but my friends don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to either have to see it in the IMAX with the capable screen and not capable projector, or I'm just gonna have to see it at like the Durham IMAX, which is just a regular, but it has like more updated like Dolby than I think the IMAX in Raleigh does. So anyway, that's my nerd problem of the day is I can't see the movie I want the way that I want, and this is my qualm. So if any of you New Yorkers, Lincoln Square, you need to go there. That's where the 70 millimeter is in New York. If any of you have the ability to see it the way that Christopher Nolan intends, I would like y'all to do it, and I would like you to tell me what it was like. So thank you. Okay, let's get on with the day. So first things first, we have a piece from Mark Coxon, and honestly, I didn't edit this because I couldn't without crying. So basically, Mark writes a little bit about like Dave Labuskes' legacy and what he's kind of leaving behind with the AV industry because, as many of you know, this past InfoComm was his very last InfoComm. He is retiring from Avixa, which like is fair. I think like a lot of people are retiring this year. A lot of the people in our industry, you know, they've been here for a long time and they are wanting to retire. So I'm so happy for him, but it's like you think about the legacy that they leave behind and what they did to kind of make the industry a better place. And it is sad to think about the fact that, you know, the next few InfoComms are going to be, I'm not going to see him, or, you know, the things that I think of him that he built, like, I'm just going to have to think about them. I'm not going to be able to, I mean, I can still talk to him, but he's not going to be like as involved with the industry anymore. And that makes me sad. So definitely give it a read. Mark did a really good job because Mark's obviously been in this industry longer than I have. So he has a different view and a longer view of knowing Dave and seeing everything that Dave did. So check it out. And that's all I'm going to say about it without getting emotional. So we are going to run a quick spot from our sponsor and partner Crestron on Spotify Camp No, and then I am going to bring on Brad Hensey because I don't want to talk to myself anymore. So we'll be right back.
The new cathedrals of the big cities are the stadiums. We are focused to construct the biggest and the best stadium in Europe and the best stadium in the world.
It's a really ambitious project in terms of technology to design a fully connected ecosystem across all areas of the stadium. The only brand who can deliver a unified ecosystem with AV over IP technologies is Crestron.
We are not selling football, we are selling experience. Technology must be invisible for the fans. It must work. The Crestron system was essential to afford that kind of new experience in the venues.
Okay. I'm here. Oh, and let's go ahead and bring on Brad. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Steph, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, oh, good. It's so nice to see you, as always.
It's
I
nice
did
to
see
see you.
Odyssey,
You did?
not in the exact perfect, but how about this?
Okay.
Let's go meet in New York and go
Okay.
together.
Please.
Let's
I
do
would
it.
love nothing more. And I feel like you'll appreciate it. My friends are like, can you shut up about this?
It is so incredible. It is nonstop action.
Okay.
You have to plan strategically if you need to step out and use
Right.
the loo,
Okay.
because there are no moments where you can take a breath and run out, because it is just go, 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 go. Spectacular. Truly,
Okay.
truly amazing.
All right. Well, let's go to New York and see it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Yep.
I
Justin and I will be there in like 3 weeks, so we
Oh,
can meet you
great.
there.
It'll probably still be in theaters. I feel like people are still obsessed with it. So
Yeah, it will be there for a while.
great. Then let's go. I've had it with North Carolina trying to keep me from doing what I need to do. Keeping me from achieving my dreams. So, Brad, okay, we were talking about this backstage, but you had a post on LinkedIn. It did really
hmm
well. I'm
hmm
interested in kind of talking about this a little bit. So this started when you were running this thing called Wedge. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about what you kind of discovered.
So one of the things that we have done with our sales team, in sales meetings, is run this little exercise to help kind of refine positioning and help arm them with the right way to, speak to a customer about what we're doing in a way that creates a separation between the customer and a competitor, right? And so this exercise is really about getting them engaged and sharing, what does a competitor do well? What do they not do well? What do the pros like or dislike? How can we win? That kind of stuff. And we did it on paper, and we did it in small groups, right? But a couple weeks ago, I actually heard somebody talking about just this concept of vibe coding for some short-term need or whatever. It's like, that sounds really cool. I'd like to try that out. And I couldn't think of what to do. And then suddenly it hit me. Well, why don't we vibe code the wedge exercise rather than doing it on paper? Plus, you know what? Those teams, they love new and novel things, right? So we, in order to keep them engaged, let's do something new and unique and different.
Yeah.
So I spent a couple hours just vibe coding this app so that we could run it either virtually, or we could run it in the room and on their various different devices, but also then give them the ability to share their information, upvote it, and then walk out of the room with a little bit of a battle card, right? And I think that this is really an interesting concept, because when you think about it, when you have this kind of a capability, look, I'm a technically oriented marketing person, right? I started in computer science, but this was very approachable to me. I could not have built this on my own without a tool
Yeah.
like this. I would not have gone to IT to have them build it either, because I couldn't justify the ROI. But
Yeah.
to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours, to be able to do something like that, it was totally worth it.
That's awesome. What would you say was the biggest thing you learned from using AI to, instead of like creating content like a lot of us do, create a business tool?
I think, and it was interesting, and I hadn't formulated this until I actually started drafting the post, but for 30 years, PowerPoint has been the tool that drives corporate communication, right? Up and down. Doesn't matter what group you're in. People will use PowerPoint to lead a meeting. But now you have a new tool in your toolbox. And I think that this is a really compelling thing, because now a creative person or somebody that has just an idea can go make that happen, where you used to drop it into a slide, fine. And clearly it was that way for a long time because it worked. But now you've got all of these new ways to engage the people that you're talking about, express what you're trying to do. And so I think that this is a replacement potentially for PowerPoint in that regard. I think it's super cool. There are plenty of PowerPoints that I've spent more time on for
Yeah.
a singular meeting
Oh,
than I
yeah.
did on that app. And so now to have this mixture of ways that you can communicate, I think it's super compelling and super exciting.
That's so fair, because I too spend a really long time on PowerPoints, and this is like so boomer of me. I normally need help with them. So this could be a replacement for me, because I feel like I could probably do this with some help, obviously.
You could totally do it. And you know what? Let's do it. Call me later and I'll walk you
Okay.
through how to do it with Cloud
Okay.
Code. Really easy, right?
Yeah.
Super straightforward. And yeah, I think that it just brings more possibilities in terms of a platform to get your job done and to engage other people. But it also comes along without the requirement that you justify the ROI, right? Because
Yeah.
if you need a developer to work on it, even if it was, even if I had to have it down to just a week or two, I could not justify having a developer that could be doing other stuff work on this, albeit a toy. It is a toy, right? It
Yeah.
is just a little toy for a week or two. But now when you lower that bar, I think that, it opens up all those possibilities. And I think we're going to see more and more of this, right?
Yeah.
A lot of single purpose disposable types of apps,
Yeah.
maybe you use it once and throw it away. Fine. It's all good, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I like that you call it like a disposable software, because that is the kind of the same way that we think of PowerPoints, right? Like we do a presentation for one thing, like maybe we reuse it a couple of times, and then we put it in the trash, because like we don't need
Yep.
to give that presentation again. So it's very, very similar to that, but more engaging, it sounds like,
Yeah.
which is
Yep.
really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when we look now and at like projects like FC Barcelona's Espai Barca, like this stadium is no longer the product. Like that, that they kind of talk about that in the video that we played. So kind of shifting to that, like how are we seeing experience become the product, and how does that kind of relate?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that this vibe coding exercise for me kind of showed me is that AI is becoming a platform that you can build the end product that you need to get your job done, right? And whether that's a PowerPoint or a messaging document or an app now, right?
Yeah.
You have these tools to go and get your job done. And we were discussing, the stadium project a couple of weeks ago, and the role of the CIO at an organization like FC Barcelona is to enable the teams to build products that they can then sell. And it was interesting when I was on a tour with that team, they kept talking about, well, we have this product and we have this product where a fan can buy this ticket and then they go to the parking lot and they watch the players arrive from their car and then walk into the locker room. And they kept referring to these things as products, right? We
Yeah.
think of products as black boxes, but they think of these products as an experience. But for the CEO the CIO and the stadium project, the intention here is to build a platform that they can then build their products on top of. And the interesting thing here is that AV is now an important part of that platform, right? Because, for a CIO, strategically, how do you create all of the right components so that these teams can build these individual products, iterate on them quickly, bring new concepts in there, but you have to have all the right levers. And that's what, we refer to that as technology platforms sometimes, but the stadium now is a platform for building these
Yeah.
products as well. And AV can play a really important role in that.
No, I see that. Like, I think that this could potentially change the way venues are designed.
I-
There's-
Yeah, it is driving that today, right? You see that, we work with so many different venues, and we've organically gone in there. We haven't targeted them specifically.
Yeah.
They have come to us, but the need to have at scale something that is flexible enough to reconfigure, simple enough that anyone can walk in and use it, gives them these tools to be able to build the variety of products on top of that. But the reality is that, even if your project isn't shaped like a stadium, a lot of organizations are doing this, and they're thinking about this the same way, right? Education has thought about this for a long time, and frankly, I think education is probably the vertical that has been ahead of some of these others in terms of applying this level of thinking, right? Because their products are classrooms, right? Their products are other kinds of events as well. But enterprise is right there, government is right there too, and so AV is playing a really critical role in enabling organizations this way.
Absolutely. So, yeah, kind of expand on that a little bit. Like, where do you see this being able to go for the AV industry, and how do you think like manufacturers and integrators and end users should be thinking differently as technology becomes more of like a platform than just an end product?
Yeah, I think that for a while, out of necessity and actually just reflective of the point in time, a lot of people thought about the AV products in a room as just the endpoint. Like, okay, I can slap a sound bar in here. That's fine, right? I'm going to put in a touch screen you can turn stuff on and off with, right? And that is discrete functionality within the room. But now, if you think about enabling an organization to leverage all of their AI workflows, to monitor and understand what's happening in the space, you really need technology everywhere. And so you need pervasive audio, video, so microphones and speakers and touchscreens and cameras and displays. That pervasiveness in every room gives them the option and the ability to build around that and build those capabilities. And so I think that if we as an industry, I think many have already been there for a while, but I think there's a further opportunity for everyone that interacts with customers in this way. Think of AV as infrastructure that gets deployed for the whole of the organization's way of doing business and doing work, which means then as infrastructure needs to be durable, it needs to have a long life cycle, and it has to be everywhere in a package that works well for any type of space. And so thinking about it as infrastructure, I think gives us a huge opportunity to continue to become a part of an organization in the way they run, but it helps arm the organization, the CIO specifically, with the tools they need to do their job and build, enable these kinds of platforms or products.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great point. Where do you see yourself leveraging this next as you kind of, I can see you making a push for this at Crestron. I think that's really cool. Where do you think you're going to try to do this next?
Well, which part? My little vibe coding experiment or the AV as infrastructure?
Both.
Both. On the AV as infrastructure, right, we've been engineering products for this deliberately. We have the Collab Compute just came out earlier this year, started shipping, 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago. That's a core component of enabling collaboration with all of the right endpoints to do AV infrastructure in there as well. NVX, our AV over IP platform, has been part of that as well. So we'll continue to invest in those. We talk about, content collaboration and control. Those are the pillars of AV infrastructure. And so we'll always invest there to enable that. But I think that, continuing to inspire organizations that bring this technology in around the ways they can use it, right, and think about it as a platform, I think is an important one. On my vibe coding stuff, I've got like 3 other little apps that I'm working on. Actually, we're running a long-term planning exercise with my team, the customer success team, and I'm vibe coding a planning app that's specific to us and specific to the way that we plan and think about things. And we'll see how it goes. And if we use it once, that's fine. But it has unlocked a bit of creativity and fun and excitement. It's a lot like the early mobile days, the early internet days, where you feel like you have all of these options. And so go experiment and iterate and change. And so that's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Brad, well, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for coming on rAVe TV. It's been a pleasure getting to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's always fun. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'll give you a call later so you can help me vibe code my first project.
I'm here for you. I'll be your Sherpa.
All right, everyone, let's go into a quick spot from our sponsor and partner, ViewSonic. This is on MIP LED technology, and then I will come back and talk a little bit about the news this week. Okay, hello everyone, I'm back. And I just had to run because my computer was dying, so I had to plug it in. And so I just did that, and then the light came on and I had to run around and turn that off. So I did all of that within the span of that commercial. So nothing like running around to keep your blood pumping. That was great. So let's talk a little bit about the news. First things first. I mean, I wouldn't say it's been a crazy news week. This is always typically like a slower news time. It's like a month after InfoComm. So not a ton of huge news things this week. Y'all didn't miss a lot, but a big, which I think is big and cool, a piece of news. This is from Netspeak. They have appointed Mary McDowell to the board of directors. And if you guys are familiar with Mary McDowell, she was the former CEO of Polycom, which is now HP Poly. Poly has gone through a lot of changes, even, through the time that I have been in this industry. But this was when it was Polycom, and then kind of led the company through this strategic transformation, and then the acquisition of Plantronics, which also happened in the past 10, 15 years. So then she was president, CEO, and board director of Mitel, which is kind of all related in there. So she's very cool, and it's very exciting to see someone who has, been so integral to kind of UC tech and that part of the industry being part of Netspeak. So I think that is a really, really good move on their part. Netspeak, as if you guys aren't familiar, they're a very cool startup that is AI based. It is essentially generative AI built for the AV industry, built specifically to kind of work through problems in a room to help what I see as the problem of AV IT managers having to constantly be in a room for problems that they don't necessarily need to be in there to fix because they're already overwhelmed and overworked. So this platform, which utilizes this AI-based tool called Lena, to help solve a lot of those problems. It's had some updates recently. I got to see them firsthand. The other day, it used to be kind of reactive. You would have to set times for this AI to check through all of the online devices in a room, but now it's proactively constantly in the background running tests to see that everything is working, which I think is really cool, and I think is something that we should be using AI for. There's a lot of things, I have opinions on things that we shouldn't be using AI for. I think we lean on it a little too much for content these days. But I see that as being okay, this is what technology is for. It's helping. So definitely check this out. And congrats to Netspeak. Mary McDowell is a huge get for them. So continuing on, we have a couple of launches this week. One from Amadeus Acoustics. This is a down mix engine feature. It's the Art Director V1.3.1, I think. This basically has some new workflow optimizations involved. So in the performing arts industry, there's a lot of translating immersive venue mixes into standardized formats for broadcasting and studio. And there's a lot of like weird things that don't quite translate. So this is supposed to be a direct bridge to allow sound engineers to run a lot of customizable speaker down mixes in parallel, following the in-house's like spatial mix. So it's supposed to make that translation a lot easier. And a lot of people use Amadeus acoustics. I think that the 2026 Eurovision Song Contest used this, so definitely check it out. The whole idea behind this is I think that they don't want immersive audio to just be something that people can experience live. They want it to be something that can translate over broadcast, so that you can, watch it later, or that's how I take it. So definitely check out the full story. Everything about how it works is on ravepubs.com. Another release from our pals over at Extron. So this is the BT100 ATD. It's essentially a Bluetooth audio Dante interface. So it just integrates Bluetooth compatible devices into a Dante enabled audio system. So it's just a wall panel, but it allows your cell phone to be used as the communication device within a conferencing system. So it also supports stereo audio playback from a range of these Bluetooth enabled devices. So it's supposed to make it very easy for device pairing, volume media playback, just supposed to make life a little bit easier. It can also be powered through PoE, so single network cable connection from your equipment rack, for bidirectional audio control and power. So definitely check it out. Full story, once again, ravepubs.com. We are going to go into our last spot of the day from our sponsor and partner, Shure. This is on the IntelliMix Foundation system. We'll be right back. All right, so got a couple more stories here. This one is from Panopto. There are basically some new updates from them regarding these new generation of knowledge intelligence capabilities. So it's basically like they're helping organizations use what's already captured in like their videos better. So it uses AI and it uses its video platform to allow like organizations like schools, corporate, wherever, use their already recorded stuff. Like it makes it more findable, searchable, measurable, etc. So one of the ways it does this is it has something called AI search, and it aims to let employees and learners like ask questions in their own natural language, and it gives answers that are drawn directly from that bank of video knowledge that's recorded and saved there. So it also includes links to precise moments in the recordings where this information appears. So it allows users to quickly like verify the answer, make sure it's right, and explore the surrounding context, which I think is very cool, because if you are someone like, I can see this working really well in a university, for instance, when a professor records their lecture, and as a student, you're going back and checking over your notes, making sure that your notes are right. You wrote something, you want to make sure that that's what the professor actually said. You can go and ask this, hey, I think that I have in my notes on this day, the professor said this. Can you find, the surrounding context? Is this true? And it can go help find that. So again, I think this is an actual very helpful use of AI, and it sounds like it would be easy, but that's actually pretty difficult to be able to take a video, pull and understand the context of it, and help a student learn from it. So I think that's pretty cool. I can see how it would be useful in corporate as well, like with meetings and things that we kind of say one time and we want to go back and be like, wait, I remember I do this all the time. I'm the worst about this, where I'm like, I think a month ago, someone said this. I don't remember who said it. I don't have any context. I just have a vague memory. Can someone help me? And we have an AI meeting tool that kind of helps us with that now. But before that, we would just kind of hope to figure it out. So this is a really helpful tool. You can check out the full story as usual on ravepubs.com. Okay, last story from me. This is from Sony. This is kind of like more of a creator story, but I like to throw a few of those in there now because as we've talked about, the broadcast industry is paying attention to the creator market. So I see it as kind of my job to start paying attention to that and leaning into that a little bit as well. So Sony has introduced a new camera. It's the FX5. It's a full frame camera. It's kind of part of its Cinema line series. So this has a full stacked CMOS image sensor, and it also aims to enhance like sensitivity performance through, it has like 15 and up stops of dynamic range. And it's got a lot of ISO settings there too, I think 3. So basically this also supports open gate shooting. If you don't know what that is, someone explained it to me the other day, as basically shooting in a bigger aspect ratio almost, so that you don't have to crop a horizontal video for social content. It is just made very big so that you can just use that full frame for your social content. So for creators who shoot a lot of high res social content like this, like who don't use, which the iPhone's great, but who don't want to use the iPhone, who want to use a proper camera, I think open gate shooting is going to support that a lot better. So that was how it was explained to me. Shout out Buddy and Lane who explained that to me last week. So check out the full story on ravepubs.com as usual. And I think that is about it in terms of news. So the last thing I would like to share with you guys is rAVe Symposium is coming up in August. It is August 20th. It's going to be at 1 p.m. and that is Eastern. So we are going to have a few panels, I think about 4 or 5, and it's going to be about today's most important technologies, trends, business challenges, etc. So you know the drill. We've done this a few times. So we hope that you kind of leave with this understanding of where the industry is headed. We're hoping to kind of talk about some challenges for integrators right now. We're going to kind of talk about security a little bit. We're going to talk about a few different things. It's going to be exciting. And it is also pending 3 CTS, CTSI, or CTSD RUs. So if you need to get your RUs up for the year, this is a great way to do that in one day and a couple of hours. So please join. You can go ahead and register and add it to your calendar at lavench.com. And I hope to see you there. So that is it. We're done with Rave TV for the day. And hopefully next week I can get Gary back in here because I hate doing this by myself. So thank you guys for watching. Happy Wednesday. See you next week. Bye.
It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's Rave TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.